we have greatness within ourselves that we need to find somehow, and we need to unlock that. And today, that's the message I really want to give to you, is to find a way to unlock that, within yourself and find it somewhere. And so I was in total despair. I was a complete emotional wreck. I tried all sorts of things, and then eventually I decided I was going to go back to Harvard. Because the Harvard people had seen me pregnant, had seen me giving birth. I went back there and it was like coming full circle. And that is where the healing actually came from. And that's what gives me the ability to talk about this. There are some days, I must say, I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous that I actually won't be able to do this without completely being overwhelmed. But I went there, and when I came back, I felt a renewed strength somehow come out in me. And I felt, you know what, these people still believe in me. They think I can still do something. Maybe I can. Let me try. And at the time, the revenue services, the South African Revenue Services, was going through a huge transformation, as you will appreciate. Can't escape the SARS, arms of the SARS, machinery today. It's the ultimate tax collection machine. And I hope you've all paid your taxes. I still do my piece for SARS. But I went into SARS, and Pravin Gordon was the commissioner at the time. He had interviewed many people, I'm sure. And so by the time I'd gone in there, I don't know how many people he'd seen, but I actually was very honest with him. I said to him, I've just been through this devastation. I don't know what I'm capable of doing. And I actually didn't want to see you because I didn't want to waste your time. But this is what I've done. This is what I think I can do. And he said to me, when can you start? And I was just blown over. So again, to the male folk in our lives who do give us the opportunity, who do believe in us, like my father, like Kevin, like Pravin Gordon, and a few others. I think we also need to pay tribute to men folk like this, because we need to build this agenda together to get a world where we are treated fairly, where there is equality, and where there is respect for other people to grow and develop in their own lives. And so people like these have played a key role in my life. And he said to me, come in, let's just start somewhere and see how we go. Okay? Now, that is a big risk that he took as well, because SARS was in a huge change process. Systems, processes, people, where the branches were going to be relocated, development of SARS officials, academies that were running, all of which I was responsible for from a people perspective. And it was absolutely amazing to work with a person like Pravin Gordon and to effect that change. And you know what? It wasn't only changing the mindsets of staff. It was changing the mindsets of citizenry, who up to that point, up to 1994, had been subversive in every possible way in terms of paying their taxes, right? Because we didn't want to pay to support this regime. Now the story is different. So Pravin Gordon had to change the minds of millions of people that pay tax in this country, to shift their hearts and minds and to say, we're trying to build a country. Please, will you pay your taxes? Will you do it on time? We'll make it easier for you. We'll give you e-filing. We'll do this, we'll do that. So, and this is where we are today. And sometimes they're a little bit too good for their own good, I think now. But it was great. It was great to be part of that. And then, my next assignment came along in the form of Nedbank. And you'll remember Nedbank in 2004, serious trouble, front page, bad news constantly, share price dropping. Eventually what happened is the board made a decision that the whole exco needed to be replaced, including the CEO. That is radical stuff. The view also was that we couldn't have one of the big four banks go down. Imagine that happened. So Tom Boardman came in, he said to me, Shirley, I want you to please come and assist us to do some of the things you did at SARS to help with the turnaround. One of the profound things he said to me was, I understand that I have to do a financial turnaround. Remember, they were bailed out by Old Mutual at the time. The financial turnaround cannot happen in the absence of the people turnaround. The people have been traumatized. The people are uncertain. The morale is low. We need to find a way to get that up and running. Find something that can measure this. And so I went out and I looked at a few things, and we came back and we decided to use the Barrett work, but Richard Barrett's work. I don't know if you're familiar with that. He wrote Liberating the Corporate Soul, which is one of the core readings that was part of us making the decision. And the hypothesis really is the closer your corporate values are to your personal values, the more high performance your organization will be, the more commitment you will get, the more discretionary effort you will get from people. So we embarked on this process. We successfully turned around the bank. I don't think any bank has seen the sort of numbers that we had to do at the time. I think that after, and you know what, the turnaround was from 2005 to 2008. What happened in 2008? The economic meltdown. Now, if Nedbank hadn't done that 3-year, really hard, tough turnaround, they would never have been able to face the challenges that came with 2008.